Life begins at 35. Typically, a talk which is designed for people around 40s for the Western countries would be for about 35 years in India. Slow beginning of ill health starts in India as early as age of 35. After education and the first job and the income and the marriage and children, 25 to 35 is the time when time just zooms by. There's hardly any time to recoup and think about life and health and planning. By the time one arrives at 35, it could be a burnout or ill health already set in. We have to plan and think at the age of 35 about planning health for many more decades to come. One can call 35 as a morbidity point, wherein some form of ill health like diabetes, blood pressure, anxiety, depression, obesity, spondylitis, and illnesses of this nature would start creeping in. If we are not alert at this point, by the time one is 45 to 50, the disease had already established itself and can cause detour from a normal lifespan. On an average, the regenerative capacity of an individual keeps steadily declining all the time. In order to prevent this decline and make the rest of the life steady, one needs to be very proactive. With advances in medical science in the last 100 years, the life expectancy of a human being has gone up by almost 10 years. In India, as it is now, is average about 65, with a little difference between the two genders. The extra lifespan that is gained over a period of this century is unfortunately of the old age at the end of the life, and one can face problems related to degenerative diseases like Parkinsonism, dementia, frailty. The last 10 years of life could be miserable, dependent, and for some, very, very troublesome. The steps that we take in the age of 35 to 40 would not only lead a better lifespan in the remaining period and also get the last 10 years of life to be more tolerable to ourselves and to others. In short, the lifespan of an individual can be converted into a health span if certain steps are taken in early period of life. Fortunately or unfortunately, the steps that are to be taken to achieve good health span are very well known, and all that it needs is implementation and discipline. A middle path adopted for health, whether it is diet, whether it is exercise, is always helpful. Any extremes, even in discipline, can be deterrent to the body and mind. A common sense diet includes a diet mainly meant for body and not so much for the tongue. Out of the 100 meals that we have in 1 month, 90 should be directed towards the body and 10 could be for the indulgence. Traditional diets which have been followed for centuries in some geographical areas should be followed without any major deviation. However, good protein, low carb, low fat are the principles to be utilized. Exercise routine includes maintaining activity of the legs through the day. The large leg muscles, when utilized, bring in good circulation and burn significant amount of calories. There should be no period of sitting in one place for more than 30 minutes. 15 to 20 steps every 30 minutes, wherever you are, should be practiced. In addition to avoiding this sedentary lifestyle, 150 minutes of exercise per week, which could include cycling, jogging, swimming, walking, is desired. After the age of 35 to 40, resistance training in the form of weights or dips where muscles are made to work against resistance need to be adopted. By adopting resistant training, one prevents muscle loss and sarcopenia, which will finally equate it to good years of life in the last 10 years. Sudden awakening for exercise and taking up heavy activities, practicing for marathons, high altitude treks, and trying to achieve fitnesses for competitions like Ironman is not called for after the age of 35 to 40. Sudden cardiac deaths that we see nowadays in young population is mainly because of taking up such activities which are beyond the capacity of the heart. A good healthy sex life also contributes a great deal to the health. Orgasms bring in a lot of healthy neurotransmitters and can improve overall health and well-being. Ideal weight is ideal, but those who are obese should aim at losing at least 10% of the original weight. This will bring in a lot of medical benefits. Adequate rest cannot be overemphasized, which includes power napping during the day, shavasana during the day, and good adequate hygiene and quantity of sleep at night. Abstinence from all kinds of addictions like nicotine and alcohol need not be stressed again. After long research of 75 years, the World Health Organization WHO has come up with suggestions of leading good life, and they are good social connects, strong emotional core in the form of friends and families, a feeling of gratitude. These seemingly unscientific factors have gained prominence and are at the top of the list for leading a healthy life. Mind management is of paramount importance in a stressful era that we are living. Living in the present tense or present moment can be followed as much as possible. Yoga, meditation helps these activities, but any form of hobby which would lead to pointing towards the same direction. A spiritual way of living could mean living in the present moment, having a feeling of gratitude, and avoiding narcissism and jealousies. A check at the age of 35 would mean check of blood pressure, blood sugar, blood cholesterol. Those who have family histories of heart disease and seemingly high possibility of heart disease can undergo certain tests like the treadmill test or the CT angiography based on what your doctor advises. Once these tests are found to be normal, they could be repeated every 3 years to find the progress. If an abnormality is detected in the LDL cholesterol or blood pressure, regular follow-up with doctors is required to maintain these factors at a normal level. If an illness, however, arises during this period or these decades, it should be looked at with open eyes. Modern medicine can do miracles, and at times homeopathy and Ayurveda also can come into play to overcome certain illnesses. You may spend some time in finding the doctor of your choice, but once you find one, leave the medical decisions to the doctor. For example, whether to undergo an operation or not must be decided by the expert doctor and not by the patient or the relatives. Medical insurance of a sizable amount should be purchased when one is healthy at the age of 35. When you are healthy, the premium is less, and the insurance in the tune of 5 lakhs as of now should be safe. All in all, once we achieve these simple things like diet, exercise, stress management, regular checks, social harmony, and friendships and family, we gain almost 90 out of 100 marks towards health. Once achieved, the lifespan can get converted into health span, and a decent lifespan of decent health is possible. Any detours from this happen should be tackled with the help of medical science. All the very best to you. Start the plan today. Implement it so that after many decades from now, we can still continue to have this dialogue between us.